Hello, everybody. This is Bob Fox, your host for Heroes of Hampton Roads, with another episode of what people are doing in Hampton Roads to make an impact on the community. And I call them heroes because a lot of times they're doing things that people don't know about, but they're still making a big impact. And today I have the privilege of bringing you Wayne Anderson from the Virginia Patriot Guard, something that I'm sorry to say I'm just learning about, but they're making a huge impact on the community, and I want you to know about it. So, Wayne, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Please tell us, what does the Virginia Patriot Guard do?
So the Virginia Patriot Guard, we are a group of volunteers who have a unwavering support for the military and our first responders. So we are called upon to provide escorts for funeral services and stand flag lines for our heroes. And then we also then work with the Gold Star families and other military or first responder events.
All right. Well, that sounds like a wonderful mission. People, of course, love what our military and first responders do to protect us and to provide the kind of quality of life that we have here in the United States. So exactly how do you carry that out?
So we have a network that we will get notified from family members, church, funeral homes, or commands of like the passing of one of their heroes. So we'll get notified that they would like us to attend. Back when we first started, we would attend to shield the families when and if some protesters would show up. They were doing that back in the day. They haven't been around in a while because we, with the media, helped to ignore them out of existence. So now we're just called upon to help and honor the hero. So we will work out an escort, either like we'll do a dignified transfer if someone's coming from out of town at the airport. We work very closely with Chief Huffman at the Norfolk International Airport, and we'll do a transfer from there to the funeral home. And then from the funeral home, we'll take the hero sometimes to the church service or to the cemetery. We'll escort the families from their home to the church service. So we just kind of do that with the escorts. We also Patriot Guard riders, but you don't have to have a motorcycle to join. That's very important. We tell people you don't need a motorcycle to join, because most of our missions are just standing a silent flag line in honor of the hero. So we average about 90 missions a year, and that's between funerals and Gold Star events, a deployment, a welcome home ceremony. So we stay pretty active and busy. We actually have a decommissioning ceremony tomorrow. We have a funeral tomorrow, and we have a event over on Eastern Shore for the first responders of Northampton County. So we've got 3 events right in a row, keeping everybody busy.
So this is like a huge honor guard, in a sense, for these fallen heroes. And a lot of the people who participate with your group are riding motorcycles. Is that correct?
That's true. Most of the members do ride motorcycles, but it's not required. Most of our members are veterans. I am not a veteran. So we kind of have all walks of life who are the volunteers. It's just the one requirement is just having the basic respect for the military and first responders.
Okay, so men and women can join, and they don't have to ride a motorcycle. If they do, they're welcome to be part of the motorcycle brigade, escort, or whatever you call it. Yep. Escort that takes them from the airport to home or to the funeral home or whatever like that. Well, that's quite an honor. That's usually the kind of thing that's only reserved for very special VIP kind of funerals, isn't it?
And everybody's considered a VIP with us. So
yeah,
and we do get assistance too with from local police departments at times, and also state police will help with the escort. We welcome home. It was a Iwo Jima veteran. They finally identified his remains, and so after 70 years or whatever, and he came back home. So the airport, we brought him from the airport to the funeral home, and he actually had 4 sisters still living. So they were they were able to get some closure to the family that they found their brother. State police participated, Virginia Beach Police, Norfolk Police. So we all had a big escort from the funeral home to the cemetery for this World War II veteran. I think it was Jack Brown was his name.
Wow. And those 90 events that you talked about, is that just here in Hampton Roads?
That's just in our district. Yeah, so it's Hampton Roads, yeah.
Hampton Roads, but you're a statewide organization as well as a national organization. Is that correct?
That's correct. So we have 9 districts in the state, and we go by the VDOT districts. So we here at Hampton Roads, we're District 5, which is Eastern Shore, Williamsburg, Emporia, North Carolina border. So of that area, we have about 940. We just updated our records. We have about 940 people who are registered in my district. The state, we have about 2,500, 2,800 people who are registered.
Wow. I've been around here over 30 years and I've never heard of this wonderful thing that you're doing for fallen heroes. I'm just sad that I haven't. And I'm glad we're doing this so that people can know first of all, who those guys are when they go by on the motorcycles and all that. Yeah. And maybe they want to get involved somehow. Without a motorcycle, they can be part of your group to honor these fallen heroes. So I'm sure you have some stories, and I know I have some footage later that we took earlier when you were down at the Freedom Gun Range getting this big flag signed for the 2 recent Virginia Beach officers who gave their lives in the line of duty. I'll show that later in the podcast. But what's been the general response of the public to what you do?
So the public has always been very supportive of what we do. It's heartwarming when you're doing an escort and you'll see cars pull over side of the road and people get out and put their hands over their heart as we're driving by. We were doing a funeral escort or a escort of a young Navy lieutenant, taking him to Dam Neck. So we had state police involved, the Virginia Beach Police, a big procession of motorcycles and cars. And there was a little elementary school there right there on Dam Neck Road before you go into the base. All the children were out in the playground with signs, not a dry eye of the state police.
Oh, I'm sure.
We got to the location on the base. They were all crying. You see these big state troopers crying. It was hard because that just shows that community support again and whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
It meant a lot to the family, yeah.
Does it take an emotional toll on you and your fellow folks in the group, Virginia Patriot Guard, to be at all this? Yeah. So
when we're always doing funerals, the funerals are very solemn, and we get new members. They think they're going to go for a ride, but we tell them, you're going to a funeral. So some of them understand what it means to the families, but it does take a toll. So I've been to over 100 funerals, and I'm never comfortable. I'm still never comfortable with that.
Yeah.
We go, but I go because I know how important it is to the families. They really appreciate us there, and they come up and hug us and shake hands and just, thankful that we're there. It's also sad or heartbreaking when sometimes we're the only family at a funeral for a veteran.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than his caregiver. That's happened several times that we're the only ones there. We've even accepted the flag as the family when they fold the flag from the casket. We've accepted the flag as a family because there's no one there for it. So that's just heartbreaking. We have had missions where we put out to the community that this veteran has passed away, has no family, and we've had people show up just from the communities to honor this person and not let him pass on alone. But it does take a toll on some of the members, and some people will step away for a while and come back, try to get re-energized. I always say it's like you can keep you can keep drawing from the well, but at some point you got to stop and let the well fill back up again. Yeah. So we have pauses, and then we do the events. The positive events, which are again the welcome home ceremonies. Oh yeah. Gold Star family events. We work with the Gary Sinise Foundation Snowball Express, which is a really nice. They send the kids to a trip to Disney and
how wonderful.
For 1st of December, and that now they're doing that for military and also first responders. Families get to go. So that energizes us. We do a big event at the airport every year. We get, character artists, and we get activities for the kids to do at the gate. So those positive events help get us energized again. We do work with Boy Scouts. They'll come to some services as well. They'll stand and hold the flag line. So the Boy Scouts, the Civil Air Patrol cadets have been partnered with us. So they come with us at the air show. They do a flag line for our patriotic vignette. So they'll have like 40 cadets out on the show center holding the flag line. They also join us with the NATO parade and our Extortion 17 ride. And we also have the Beachcombers Corvette Club So you don't have to have a motorcycle. You can have a Corvette if you want to join. And so they come
really?
to our events as well. So they come to the air show and they come to the Extortion 17 ride as well. So car clubs are welcome, and Boy Scouts, Civil Air Patrol Cadets, and that's a good organization if you have a child to join. They're really squared away. They're kind of like Boy Scouts but cooler. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I had no idea that kids could get involved at that level. Boy Scouts, Sea Scouts, Civil Air Patrol, and people with Corvettes.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thanks again, Wayne, and I look forward to seeing. I look forward to seeing you honor our first responders, even more in the community. Now I know about your activities, and I'll try to keep the community in the ways that I have through a newsletter, et cetera, about your major activities that you have planned every year.
And you can join as well.
I know.
Oh, you'll get the emails, yeah.
And I might. I'm trying to figure out my life right now now that I signed up for a few extra things. So I want to challenge everybody out there who's got a motorcycle. If you're in a motorcycle club, or if you work at a motorcycle shop or something like that, spread the word. And not that you have to have a motorcycle, but this is a great way to use that beautiful bike that you shine and polish every weekend and go riding with your buddies. It's a way to use it to really bring comfort and honor to people who deserve that. And even if you're not, of course, a bike rider, you can still join. You can still go out there and help with all the activities that they do to honor our fallen and beloved first responders. Well, I think everybody should know about this and get behind you in whatever way they can. I just think it's wonderful. And I'm sorry to say I didn't know about it. So how can people get involved with what you're doing?
So to be on the email distribution list, you have to go to our national site, which is patriotguardriders.org. And you'll go, there's a join me or a join tab. You click on that and you'll enter a username and a password. And then you get registered with the National Patriot Guard Riders. Then you go to our state page here in Virginia. Every state has their own site as well. So then you go to virginiapatriotguard.org and you do the same exact thing. You click on the join tab, use the same login name and same password, and then you'll get assigned to whatever district you're in. So here in the Hampton Roads area, you'll get assigned to this district. You can pick, if you want to get a notice from Arlington, you can click on different areas you'd like to get notices from. If you want to get a notice from Florida, you can click and say, I want to be notified of events going on in Florida.
God bless you, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Bye-bye.
These young kids, their eyes, you can see like, oh my God, all this food, and had a great time or whatever. So we said, you know what, we can build on this.
Right.
So every year we started getting more and more people. And then we have a guest speaker, admiral or somebody. Captain, usually it's been it's been the COs of Oceana or guest speakers. So we had an admiral once. So I go to the young sailors. I go, who wants to sit with the admiral? So the young kid goes to the admiral's talking to him, and he's like, just a little enlisted guy, and from Iowa, never had seafood, first time away from home. So he goes to get steamed shrimp from the buffet. He puts it on his plate and he's looking at it. He starts crunching the steamed shrimp, and the admiral goes like, no, stop. So the admiral is peeling the steamed shrimp for this young enlisted sailor to show him how to eat steamed shrimp, which was funny. So again, we've had a lot of stories like that over the years, the young guys, and but the Captain George Restaurant has been really generous, giving us the room and cutting.
Which one do you go to?
The one over here on Alaskan Road. They give us a back room.
Yeah.
So they give us the staff, the room, discount the per person rate, and so we do.
Wow. You work with Mission Barbecue at all?
Mission Barbecue's great. Steve at Mission Barbecue.
They have been so good. Yeah, to his dad, who was a World War II vet. They paid for his funeral.
Food. They catered my dad's funeral for free because of the World War II vet.
We just did the World War II veteran 100-year birthday party at the VFW, and Mission Barbecue catered for 127 people.
Yeah,
they never charged.
I know, they're amazing.
They never charged us for this. They catered it. They did everything.
Yeah,
Every time
they're a beautiful company.
Had him stand up. World War II vet, and they had me make a plaque of all of his catches, and it's there in the Chesapeake Mission Barbecue.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah,
we really like them. But
Wow.
So that's one of the things we do, and so I can tell you 3 quick little stories.
Okay,
And again,
sure.
I can repeat
Yeah,
what I
sure.
said, but so it's all about do we make a difference? Do we do this for a pat on the back? No.
Right.
We do it because we have this unwavering respect for the military, first responders. So, and we're not looking for the pat on the back or anything. We're just looking, what can we do? So years ago, we did a funeral for a young SEAL who was killed in action, and the squadron insignia is the skull and crossbones. So I had these little pins, little silver skull and crossbone pins that I had given to the wife of one of the SEALs prior, because we knew them, and they said the wives would wear it as a cocktail dress pin. So when the SEAL was killed, my friend said, hey, could you send one of those pins to his mother? So didn't think about it, put it in an envelope, sent it to his mother, and that was the end of it. And she called me back. She was, oh, you know, he had a twin sister. Could you send one to her as well? So I didn't think. I put a return address label on the envelope and sent it. And then my receptionist gets a call like a week later. Woman on the phone wants to know who sent a pin. So I get the phone and said, yes, ma'am. She goes, are you the person who sent the skull and crossbones pin? I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, well, I want to tell you, it's really meant a lot. I said, it's no big deal. She goes, you stop. It's a very big deal. She goes, I have not been able to leave my house since my son died. I put the pin on, I can go grocery shopping.
Oh my gosh.
So I felt really bad for saying no big deal, because to me it was just putting the pin, given in honor of her son. But it made a difference for her. It changed her that she could go now and do daily.
It was a healing.
So the little pin. So I just would never have known that. Then we did another funeral for a SEAL. They were going to scatter his ashes out in the bay. So we just lined up at the Lynn Haven Marina, or by Chicks, the boat launch there. And I used to have a therapy dog at the time. So we visit the schools every Friday. The service was on Friday. Say, well, look, I can do my visit with the school, and I can make it in time to stay on the beach with my dog, and we'll be there. So my dog is a German Shepherd, and we saw the boats from Chicks go out to the bay. They did the service, and they came back. End of story. But then a couple weeks later, I was at a neighborhood party with some of the SEAL wives or whatever, and they go, oh, we want to introduce you to the wife of the SEAL. So I said, yes, ma'am, I'm the Patriot Guard. She goes like, oh my God, I have to tell you something. The day I did my husband's service, my daughter, 9-year-old Jill, has just been distraught ever since. But she saw one of you guys standing on the beach with a dog. And that's all she's been talking about, is this dog on the beach. And I said, well, ma'am, and I showed her a picture, that was my dog. And she started crying. So again, just something as simple and passive of having the dog at the beach changed that little girl's. So when she showed up at the Snowball Express that they go on this trip, they made sure I had a stuffed German Shepherd to give her. So that was it. And then the last story is at the air show. The one year we did Vietnam veterans, honoring each branch of service for during the Vietnam War. So we had one of our members was an Army vet. He was early Vietnam, like 50-something to 60-something. He said, we were trying to ask him to represent Army. He goes, he was just real kind of bitter. Said he didn't like the way he was treated when he came home. So he just never talked about his service, didn't want to do anything with it. We said, look, you're representing not you, but everyone in the Army. Part of this presentation, we're going to escort you out to show center. Skipper's going to present you with a coin and a flag or whatever, but you're representing everybody. So he agreed to do it. And so we do our vignette with the motorcycle escorts and going out to show center of the air show. Did the presentation. We finished. He came up to me, he goes, I don't know what it is, but something's been lifted from me. He goes, I've been so angry and bitter for so many years that this little thing you just did for me has lifted. And he just was changed. And his wife said, like, thank you, or whatever. So we had him speak at our Christmas dinner. He just said he asked his wife to pull out his stuff. She made shadow boxes for him, showed his daughters what he did. But just something as simple as that little participating in that patriotic vignette at the Oceana Air Show changed his life. But unfortunately, he passed away several months after. But he had that.
He had that experience, and he had that release from all that bitterness and pain from it.
So our little passive thing just did so much, and we've done vignettes for different things over the years for Wounded Warriors, even the female aviators. They did helicopter pilots we had from Norfolk were our honorees, and they get to go after they would do the show center. They get to go into the nobleman's chalet and meet with the special needs kids they bring on Friday. One of the pilots was in tears because all the kids were asking her for an autograph. She was a superhero for the day.
Yeah, exactly.
In her flight suit, all these kids around her.
Was Jen Keegan's there?
Jen was there, but she wasn't one of the honorees.
Yeah.
So it's just something as simple as that, because they were kind of reluctant. Oh, we don't want to go have the attention. So it's not about you. It's about you're representing female naval aviators.
Right.
We did have one of the first Navy aviators with us, Mary Louise Griffin, 50 years ago flying or whatever. So she was one of our honorees, and she had a great time. She wanted a yellow Corvette, so we made sure she had a yellow Corvette to ride in. But so it's just simple little things we do that
I like that.
changes people's lives.
It builds community, and it's an emotional healing event for many of them.
Yeah. So we've been doing that for years, 10 years, and it's just as again, something we can do. And
you guys do anything with the vet hospital over in
we Hampton, the VA hospital, we tried years ago, but there's so many kind of rules with them. We collect at one of our Christmas dinners. We had everyone bring donations.
Right.
For the VAs, we filled up a big giant bin full of stuff.
Right.
We tried to take it over there, and they refused it. So we ended up taking it to Cedar Grove, something, the VA hospital, VA vet center in Chesapeake.
Oh, okay.
And they took everything.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So we have other groups who will support the vet centers. Or we've done lunches at assisted care facilities who have a veteran population and things. So anytime we're called, we see if we can make something happen.
And how long have you been doing this?
So I've been doing this for the Patriot Guard for 18 years.
Wow.
So I'm the assistant state captain of the Hampton Roads District 5 area, the Virginia Patriot Guard. And it's just been an honor doing this. I don't ride as much as I used to or attend missions because I work full time.
Right.
So I do more of the admin stuff.
Yeah.
But my ride captains do the heavy lifting. So this is Don and Larry. Larry's actually our official photographer, media person.
Hey, you got a better camera than I do. Why aren't you doing this?
So right, Kev. So when we do the air show, he's out on the flight line making sure we get a picture.
You got a good picture that didn't break the phone.
And Don rides with us. So again, it's just having an honor having these guys who do this volunteer work and.
So they mostly vets that you work with?
So
people that volunteer for this.
It's a mix. So I was not a veteran, but I do this in honor of my dad, who was. And like I said, when he passed away, if it wasn't for his Navy buddies, there really wouldn't have been many people at the funeral.
Oh.
So that touched me way back then.
Of course, yeah.
Back in the 90s. And Larry was not a veteran, but his son-in-law.
Yeah, right.
Whole family.
To the family, right.
So we do what we can.
Obviously, you're a veteran.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got patches.
30 years worth.
Oh, yeah.
30 years in the Navy, 15 military sea lift command, 2 years post office.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so damn old, it's pitiful. I'm 81 years old.
Wow, you're in good shape. Yeah.
I gotta be.
Yeah.
I look after the young girls.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're doing a great thing here. I've been around here 30-some years. I've never heard of this group. And so hopefully this podcast will enlighten a lot of other people.
Well, this morning, a must-see and heartfelt tribute to a retired Navy sailor who died earlier this month. The Patriot Guard riders formed a flag line at the funeral of Master Chief Robert Brown. Brown joined the Navy in 1988 and served for nearly 24 years, including 2 tours during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Patriot Guard members say being a part of this flag line means honoring the career and life of a fellow service member.
Well, it's family. He's Navy, I'm Navy. Everybody here, it's all about a family. Showing your respect for one of our fallen brothers.
Brown earned many awards during his time with the Navy, including a Navy Marine Corps Medal for Heroism.
A veteran passes away. A special funeral with military honors is held to pay tribute to their service to our country. News 19's Nick Jones tells us about a local group who has dedicated their time to accompanying the fallen to their final resting place.
You know, if we don't remember those who gave us our freedom, then we're in bad shape as America.
The military has been important to Johnette Jeffcoat since the day she was born.
Father was killed in action in Korea a month before I was born, so I never knew him. He served in World War II, and he went back when he was called to Korea, and ultimately lost his life there.
Jeffcoat wanted to find a way to honor those who have served our country. In 2014, she joined the Patriot Guard Riders.
I got involved in it because my husband served in the Air Force, and he had some friends who invited him to the Patriot Guard. But it's very important to me to ride and to pay honor and respect to those who have given their life for this country.
The Patriot Guard Riders are a group of people that ride motorcycles and people that don't. We have both types of membership, and the only requirement is that you have a sincere respect for those that have served our country.
Is the assistant state captain for the organization. The Patriot Guard Riders honor veterans by helping with the escort to their final resting place. They also provide flag lines at funeral services.
Anybody can join as long as they have the sincere desire to show honor and dignity. Don't have to have a motorcycle, don't have to be a veteran to join the Patriot Guard Riders. You just have to be able to want to show up and stand for a bit of time holding a flag or riding a motorcycle if you have one in an escort, a procession to show honor and respect.
Harrison believes it's important to show families of fallen heroes they are here to support them.
Recently you have Iraq and Afghanistan wars. That soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines have been coming home from service and paid the ultimate sacrifice, and their families are grieving. And their families need to see that on behalf of the American Guard Riders will show them and will never forget their sacrifice.
Nick Jones, News 19 WLTX.
You see them on escort motorcycles. You see them standing in salute along a flag line.
He has a family, and we are here.
They are distinguished by the signature patch of the Patriot Guard Riders. And for more than a decade, at almost every military funeral service in East Tennessee, volunteers from this group have served as silent sentinels of respect.
You just can't put it into words the way I feel when he does this.
Senior Ride Captain Larry Hale didn't serve in the military, but he has served in more than 100 funeral escorts across East Tennessee.
We not only do this for fallen military folks, but we also do it for first responders, police, fire, EMS. But this is all by invitation. It's a way for us to let the community know that somebody of importance has passed away.
If I can take a little bit of time out of my day to help a family heal or start to heal, I find it rewarding for me.
Patriot Guard Riders took part in the public funerals for the Chattanooga Five, killed in a drive-by attack on 2 military centers in East Tennessee in 2015.
Honor, dignity, and respect, that's what we do.
They joined the community-wide tribute to fallen Maryville police officer Kenny Moats in 2016.
Nobody was home in Maryville that day. They were all out in the street.
But it is the private services for military veterans who are homeless or left with no family to claim them that represent perhaps the most important and meaningful missions for these volunteers.
People, they have no one to show up for them on their last ride to the cemetery. We're their family.